Okay guys, welcome to another episode of Around the Fire. Today we're going to install our Evolution Series rail on our M&P-10 here. As you can see, I've already got things kind of started and broken down here. I didn't record that part because it's fairly simple, but I'll go over it really quick in case it's something that confuses you. So where you're going to start is by removing this guy. And as you can see, it's got some indentations in it, perfect for your adjustable wrench. You can just get an adjustable wrench or something, or a wrench that fits that. I'm not sure exactly the size. Let's see what it says here. Looks like just in between 1/4 and 1/2, so somewhere in there. I mean, I'm sure you got something. So toss something on there, get that guy off. They come off fairly easy. Then you're going to remove your gas block, which is also a fairly easy process. It's just 2 Allen wrench screws that clamp onto the bottom of the barrel to keep this snug. And then that is basically just going to slide forward and off. Okay. And once you've got that off, you're going to have this on here. Okay. And your front cap at that point should come off, I believe, easily. Just pops right off. And the front part will separate. But the back part is still locked in and it will not come off. It's locked into the barrel nut. Now there's 2 ways to do this spot. Okay, you don't actually need the handguard removal tool, but there's 2 ways to do this part here. You can pull back, putting pressure on this, and you can see it actually moves. It's like spring loaded. And if you pull back on it hard enough, maybe take 2 people, one guy pulling and the other guy trying to slide the handguard forward, it will come forward when that disengages. Now the easier way I find to do it is get yourself a couple of a pair of snap ring pliers. In the back there is a snap ring. You will have to rotate it because it will be sort of hidden behind the rail section here. But rotate that guy over with either your pliers and just like some sort of little screwdriver or something to push it on, and rotate that to where you can get to it. You can get in there with your snap rings, or snap ring pliers, I'm sorry, and separate it and pull it back just like that. And now the tension on that spring is released, as you can see there. And now this will move freely back very easily, no problems, and you can pop that handrail off, no problem. Okay, so that's the lowdown on breaking it down. So now we're going to talk about putting on this new rail. First things first, you're going to need yourself an armorer's tool with a barrel lug nut wrench. And there is your barrel lug wrench, or sorry, barrel lug nut. These little teeth here, there's armorer tools. You will require one that will connect to that, and we can break that free and remove this entire assembly, and we're going to do that now. Okay, so this is our armorer's tool from Tapco. That's what you're going to need right here to interface with that lug on your barrel. I mean, if you've done this before on an AR-15 or anything, you're familiar with that. If not, get yourself one of these guys. It's got just about everything on there you need to work on these, for your butt stocks, everything, even your beer opener. But basically, that guy's all you're going to be needing right now. You can get these online, various different websites for about 25 to 30 bucks depending. So what you're going to do is just slide the sucker, and now mind you, don't do this. Try and put it over there, and it's just going to get stuck because there is a tighter point there. You can remove some of that material with a grinder if you so choose, but just go over the end, kind of hover it in, and it will slide right up and over. Engage your barrel nut, put a little bit of pressure into it just so you're not sliding off, and now you're going to break lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So we're going to be going up. And there we go. Took a little bit of muscle, but we got it. So I got that loosened, so we're just going to slowly thread that off, making sure that we get everything off that we want without screwing up or marring any threads. Make sure everything's clean. Okay, so then you got your spring assembly there in the back piece and your previous barrel lug. You'll probably want to put these into a little sandwich bag or something with your buttstock, just to hold on to those guys for later. There you go. Don't forget your snap ring. Want to get our rail out of the box and get all of our components together for the new install. And what we got here is the Samson Evolution Keymod rail, 15-inch. That's a good looking light rail, really light, nice fit and finish on there. It's got their Evolution connectors. Each one of these has two different planes to mount on, as it's kind of like a, you know, octagonal, or much more than octagonal, but you get it, figure 8 configuration there. Key mods on the sides, bottom, and Picatinny on the top there. So what we're going to do, this one comes with its own proprietary barrel nut, so we're going to get that on there correctly and seated. And then from there, we're going to take this guy, slide it over. There's a ring in there that engages and tightens down, and we'll get everything going together here, okay. Okay, so the factory specifications on these things tend to range, and now there weren't any on the box, but they tend to range, in my experience, from 30 foot-pounds to 50 foot-pounds on your barrel nuts. So we are going to tighten this to position, and I think I'll start with somewhere in the middle. I think I'm going to go with about 40 pounds. So get yourself a torque wrench and set the guy to 40 foot-pounds. Lock that up. Get your Tourqe tool out again. Oh, I'm sorry. In this case, we're not going to need a Tourqe tool because this guy is not that style of barrel lug. It's going to need a wrench. So, the fuck are we going to do in this situation? Well, that gives us sort of a peculiar situation here, huh? We've got a bolt style nut on the end of here, and no tool with it to tighten it down. Alright, boys and girls, so I went out to the garage and dusted me off an old slip lock wrench, which will do the job for this just fine. I have a larger standard adjustable crescent wrench somewhere around here, but I just can't seem to find it, but we can make this do the job. In your case, like I said, just a standard sort of crescent wrench would be fine. Now the only problem here is with the tooling situation we have now, we have no means of determining our foot-pounds of torque. Now if you've got perhaps a crescent wrench with like a torque hole on it, like a torque key for one of these guys, or a crescent wrench torque wrench, you know, you'd probably be in better shape. But if you've ever put something into, you know, had to work something down with one of these before, I'm not by any means condoning that you do this, but I've done this quite a bit on cars and whatnot. And 30 pounds is quite light. It's really just like with something about this long, it's really just like, like it's like you could go way past 30 pounds, no problem. 50 pounds in my mindset is sort of a little bit of like, you know, just enough. You know, that's about where 50 pounds usually seems to break when you're doing like a ball joint or something like that. So what I'm going to go for is somewhere kind of in that area. I'm going to get it nice and tight, and I'm going to wait for that resistance. And once I get resistance, I'm just going to give it a little, and then that'll be enough. So here we go with that. Okay, and that did not take much. We were pretty much there. So now we're going to take our rail and we're just going to test fit this situation here. Okay. How is this fucking rail in any way, shape, or form supposed to fit the M&P-10? Okay, so we've run into an issue. And I have confirmed that we have the right product. This is the Samson Manufacturing Evolution Rail, the DPMS 15, KM Evo DPMS 15. This product is advertising that it fits this rifle. Now the barrel lug fits, no issues as you saw. Now when you slide the rail over, these little pieces that normally would prevent rotation do not clear the receiver on the M&P-10. So we are at a point of choice here whether we go and machine these off and then the rail retention spring will clip there on the back of the barrel nut. There are several set screws on the bottom to retain position and not have it rotate. However, at this point, that would be the only thing, along with it being tight on there, that would hold this from rotating. So, I am a little disappointed here. Like I said, this is advertised as being a fit. Now the problem, I guess, with AR-10s is there's no industry standard. So, you sort of got yourself a pickle when trying to find things with rail section that match. Now this rail section will match up perfectly, it seems. So I'm going to go ahead and grind those pieces off. Okay, so what we did was we went out there, put it on the sander, and just took those guys down. So they're gone. So now when we slide the sucker up and over, we're good. So what you got to do here is you got to knock the pin out of this guy. And the actual size of the hole there appears to be a 3/32, but I'm going to go a little bit smaller. I'm going to go with a 1/16. Get my little hammer here. And here's our replacement. It's Yankee Hill Machining. They're a low profile clamp on. Alright, there we go. Your little pin comes out the other end there. A little bit of force required. And then work out your gas tube carefully so as not to distort it. And there you have it. You're going to reuse this guy. You're going to reuse that pin so don't lose them. Set this guy aside. Save that for some other project. Okay, so we're going to align our gas tube with our pinhole. So you just want to put it in the way you got it out, and you'll see the pinhole. And you just want to align that. And you want to put your pin back in. Okay, then you get that all back together. What we're going to do is we're going to align our gas block and check the clearances there, like everything's good there. Slide him up. He's tightened down a little bit, so we're going to have to loosen him up. Okay, now we've got our barrel lug and our gas block installed. We'll take our rail section and put it on for our final fitment. Alright, and everything seems good there. Cool. Alright guys, so I went ahead and finished. For the last little bit, all you gotta do, take her out of the vise, you know, get your rail on there nice and snug. Tighten up your set screws so you don't have any gaps, so it's nice and even all the way across. And then, you know, you got these other set screws on top, do those last. That's going to prevent any rotation, ideally. You know, flip it over a few times throughout the process just to make sure everything is nice and aligned. But as you can see, you know, it forms a nice singular top rail. Everything seems to be aligned straight. It seems nice and tight. My only complaint was before I put these two set screws down. When these three were just tightened, you could still, under some force, slide it off and rotate it. It didn't take a lot of force. It actually, you know, you just had a little bit and it would go. So I actually think I might remove just a tad of material down the road in here with some sandpaper or something. But as of right now, it fits, it's tight. You know, I can't force it, but under the shock of firing it, I would still be concerned just because it no longer has the tabs. As you can see, the tab would have been right here where this extra bit of a lip is, and it would have ran into that. It ideally, I think, on a different rifle would have gone over that, or there would have been a recess removed there for it. So in our case, on both sides, we had to remove that a little bit, and that's where we are now. So the rail looks really good, feels really good. I mean, I like it a lot, but only time will tell if we're going to have issues with it moving on us. But as for now, I'm going to say it's pretty cool. I think Samson could work out a few bugs there. But other than that, you know, pretty cool product. If you're willing to do a little machining, you know, sanding off the bits there, filing them off, if you're willing to spend, I think it's like $208, $210, something like that on this, and then do that to it, then by all means pick up this product. If that scares you and you'd prefer something that maybe, you know, fits a little bit better, I'd look into something else. But like I said, only time will tell, but so far it seems cool. You know, I'm going to give it kind of like a 50-50 at this point, you know, just because of that issue. But other than that, you know, you can see it, there it is, it's on there. Barrel's floating where it should, it's not kiltered up or down or anything like that, so all those issues you sometimes get seem to not be a problem here. But yeah, then, you know, after you've got that back on, you just put your flash hider, your muzzle device of your choosing back on, tighten it down. Maybe, you know, go through, put some Loctite on some things if you so choose. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, that's about it for this one. Until next time, you know, when we do something else with this M&P-10, maybe a buttstock or something, but I'd like to get out and do some shooting videos with this rail and see how it holds up and do like a little update. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, alright guys. Thanks for watching, as always. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you around.